I run, get back in my car, and I exit the Quality Inn parking lot onto Highway 99, and I start traveling south, just because that was the last direction that I saw suspect running. And so my intention was to try and get south of suspect to keep him from getting outside of our containment. As I'm driving south, I get I'm just due east of the bank parking lot, and I look over and I'm watching basically the east horizon just so I can see if I can see suspect running. I see Detective Brown is in his truck in the bank lot, and he is facing west towards me. And shortly thereafter, I notice the suspect pops out on the southeast corner of the bank. He's walking.
Who's he?
Suspect is walking. I put out over the air to Jeremy, he's right behind you, he's behind you, believing that suspect still has his gun, and I don't want...
You're pulling into the parking lot now, right?
No, at this point I am still going south on Highway 99. So as I'm realizing that suspect walking south through the bank lot and that Detective Brown is in the lot, I come across a divider on Highway 99. So I actually had to continue south all the way down to 68th Street to do a U-turn to go back north.
Okay.
So I put out to Detective Brown, he's behind you. I speed up at that point. I get turned around down at 68th Street, start heading back north, and then I pull into the entrance of the U.S. Bank parking lot, and I start traveling east through the south end of the lot. Suspect at this point is still, he's heading south along the east line of the property, which is a retaining wall and a fence. I believe it's like 8 feet up, so he's there's no way for him to...
And our picture doesn't show that here, just for the record. I mean,
Correct.
It's all,
yeah, this is an old photo. This tree area to the east of the bank lot is now just one big berm of dirt.
Yep.
All the trees have been cleared out. So suspect he's I don't recall him quite running. He's like kind of faster than a walk, but shorter, slower than a jog. And he's got his cell phone in his hand. And suspect has cell phone in his hand, and he's holding it out in my direction, like he's recording me, like suspect is recording me.
I told you I wasn't going to interrupt you, but which hand are we talking about?
Suspect, I believe, is holding phone in right hand at this point.
Okay.
Out towards me to the west. I see him. I see suspect traveling south along the fence line there, the retaining wall, and I start pulling into the lot. And initially, I thought getting that I was going to pull all the way up to the suspect to try and block him off. But then I was like, well, the suspect had a gun, so that's a bad idea. So I stopped short of suspect. I'm still in the south portion of the lot. I can't go any further south. I exit my vehicle and I start walking east towards the suspect, giving him verbal commands to don't move, show me your hands. Suspect is looking at me, still holding phone out towards me, continues going south to the southeast corner area of the lot, and he's boxed in. Suspect is boxed in. There's nowhere to go at that point. It's either towards me or back in the direction suspect came.
Tell us why he's boxed in.
So aside from the retaining wall that runs along the east side of the building, the retaining wall actually rounds to the southeast corner, heading back west a little bit. So it's all cement wall. And then now also this entire parking lot to the south of the bank is fenced off. So there's like a 6-foot chain link fence around that lot as well. So it's just a wall, and all the way east, or all the way south, and then all the way west. The only reason why I started walking towards the suspect at that point was I did notice just the cell phone's out. I no longer see a gun in his hand. And I go, okay, the suspect has tossed everything, and now he's going to play it off like he doesn't know why we're chasing him. So I start walking towards him. I'm giving him commands. I do have my gun drawn. I'm aiming at the suspect, telling him not to move, show me your hands. Once suspect reaches this southeast corner, at that point, I don't know what he did with the phone, but now he reaches into, suspect reaches into his hoodie pocket, the front like pouch, the kangaroo pouch on a hoodie, and gun comes out. And I was like, oh fuck. He's not gonna give up. Suspect's not gonna give up. He didn't toss the gun. He didn't try and get rid of the gun. He still got the gun. He's gonna shoot it out with us. No doubt in my mind.
Do you remember which hand he grabbed the gun with?
The gun was with his right hand.
Okay. And phone still in hand as well?
Phone, I don't remember what he did with the phone at that point. I just
Fair
remember
enough.
now gun is in right hand.
Fair enough.
Suspect stops, does like a 180, starts traveling back north along the east wall. All the while, I'm now yelling, drop the gun or I'll shoot. He starts jogging. Now, I'm thinking, okay, we had guys that were in the east lot of the hotel when this all kind of kicked off and we said we were going to stop and get patrol going. But now we've moved to the U.S. bank lot. We've got a positive sighting of the suspect in the bank lot. So I'm fully anticipating that the north containment is shifting south to our location. And I'm like, fuck. He's now running back towards north containment and they're gonna meet. His gun's out and he's gonna shoot one of them in the face, was just my thought. He's gonna shoot one of them in the face. I know it's gonna happen. I'm giving commands as he's still traveling north. And at that point, I know Detective Brown is in the lot somewhere to my left. As the gun came out, my field of view just shrunk in on suspect in the gun, so I don't know specifically where Detective Brown was at. I just presumed that he was off to my left because that's where he was at when I came into the lot, where Detective Brown was at when I came into the lot. And I believe that now I've got north containment that's going to be coming south into the bank lot from the north on the east side of the building. I thought, well, shit, he's going to run into, suspect's going to run in north containment and he's going to shoot one of them. It's going to happen. So at that point, I kind of just drew the line in the sand and I said, I've given suspect enough commands. If he takes another step, I'm going to shoot him. He continued to run. I started shooting. I recall hearing other shots going off. I don't recall hearing my gun firing, but I remember seeing my slide going back in my view. I'm center mass on target. I fire a volley of shots, maybe 3, 4, 5 shots. I don't recall how many, and target is still running. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I just missed every damn shot. and he's still going, getting closer to my north containment guys.
He's still upright at this time?
He's
running?
still upright running.
Got it.
And in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I'm missing. Just at about the time that I'm saying that to myself and I'm thinking I've got to bring myself together here, I see suspect go down. So I stop shooting. I don't know how he went down. I don't recall if he fell or how that happened, but I remember him sitting up, suspect sitting up. Gun comes up from the right side and aims towards where I believed Detective Brown was at. I remember hearing a pop and I thought, shit, he just shot Jeremy. And so I opened fired again. At that point, I shot suspect until he went flat on his back, gun out of his hand.
Did the suspect shoot, or you?
I don't know if he did. I just remember hearing a pop and thought he just fired a round at Jeremy.
Okay, you weren't sure who it was. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Or Detective Brown, sorry.
Got it.
At that point, suspect is on his back. The gun's no longer in his hand. I put out over the air that shots were fired, and that suspect was still moving. And I recall at that point I moved over to where Detective Brown was at. So I kind of realized I've got other people with me in the lot now. I retreated back to where Detective Brown was at, and we just continued. I didn't, but Detective Brown, and at that point I realized Deputy Feller was there as well. They were shouting at suspect. I don't remember what they were saying. I just remember hearing them shouting. And I held that position until Sergeant Sofianos arrived, and he arrived at the south side of the U.S. Bank building, butted up against the wall, moving east.
He arrived after the shots.
After the shots.
Yes.
This was after all the shooting stopped. Sergeant Sofianos arrived, and I remember a bunch of other people started to swarm into the lot, and that team, Sergeant Sofianos, started putting together a team of like an arrest team or a contact team, and I just held my position over with Detective Brown, and I remember calling over to Sergeant Sofianos and telling him to take it over, take over the scene. And then that's kind of where I stopped my involvement. I remember watching them walk up and starting to work on the suspect. I don't remember who it was. Someone walked over and said, "Who all fired your weapon?" I raised my hand. Detective Brown raised his hand. Deputy Feller raised his hand. They said, "Okay, you guys need to stay over here separate. Don't talk to one another." And that was where our role essentially ended at the scene.